Welcome back to the IeSF 2013 World Championship coverage here on Chaos TV. I am Stress alongside Panky here for our final game of the group stage. This is going to be the European neighbours heading off against each other. France against Spain.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Spain play a couple of games now. The first one was interesting. Next one, or second game here, was very, very close. And they just slight inexperience, shall we say, that Baron Court not quite necessary did throw the game away for them. But chance to redeem themselves now against the French side, who we saw playing against the Netherlands in the very first game. Didn't go too well for them in that situation, but Spain is a different side, so we'll see how things shape up. First couple of bans are in though. Fizz, Kassadin, two very, very strong assassins, and that Jarvan, very strong jungler, very powerful jungler in basically everything. Jarvan can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and Fizz is a champion that we were expecting to see banned a little more than he has been today, actually. Not really had any impact from the fish at this tournament. Shyvana will be banned out as well. We talked in length about Shyvana's uses. Who will be the last ban? I kind of feel like Zed needs to be banned. I know it's not the Netherlands again, but unless Spain are looking to first pick Zed, he is a particularly strong champion.
Yeah, exactly, but I mean, our last few bans are through there now, Shyvana and Zed, so gone again. So it's interesting, but it does leave a couple more open, a couple more we've seen in previous games, one of which being that Aatrox again. So that is the first pick for Spain this time around. They have grabbed him up, taken him away, probably going to put him in the jungle again. He's very strong there, very versatile, and we did see him set up a couple of very nice fights in that previous game, some great engages on the back of Ash arrows, so that potential is there once more.
Yep, Aatrox has been locked in. Who will France go with for their first two picks? We will see. There's plenty left available for them. Caitlyn is who they are choosing to hover over so far. Locks that in alongside maybe a Nami again. Yeah, that is the Nami we saw from France earlier.
It is. They had a very interesting first item start in that previous game. Straight up Ruby Crystal. Didn't really work out for them. Didn't really figure out what they were planning with. She did put it straight into a Sightstone. Yes, good, fine, you need that. But starting with just that item didn't really work out, and they did fall behind pretty rapidly. So we'll see if they do that again.
Yeah, who are Spain going to follow up with? Looks like, obviously, that Lee Sin has been locked in. That leaves them an interchangeable top and jungle, as both Aatrox and Lee Sin are very comfortable playing in both of those positions. I wonder which way around that will go. We've seen Frederick on Aatrox in the previous game, so I kind of have to feel like that might be the direction they will go on this one. Yeah,
definitely. We'll watch and see as things shape up. Again, it's very strong early right now. Strong early poke, that power chord in the Valor combo coming out of Sona. Lots of damage to begin with, but she can be very squishy herself, so needs to be careful. Lee Sin, of course, everyone knows Lee Sin. Incredible power in that pre-6 stage, and even once he does hit 6, he starts to get stronger, falls off later on, but ultimately by that point he can just start building tanky all the way through and becomes a bit more utility based. Still got a lot of power in that slow, that attack speed and movement speed slow, and that kick is a great displacement. Interesting change up there from the French team though, bringing out a champion we have not seen in a very, very long time in the shape of Cho'Gath.
A very long time, I think, is even an understatement there, even with the emphasis. Cho'Gath just really hasn't been seen since Season 2. He's a champion that used to be picked in almost every game, got so tanky in those prolonged situations where he was able to get his farm, get those stacks up, and ensure that he had the damage and health to survive through a lot. But ever since the pace of the game has picked up, as well as other changes that have happened to the champions around him, really just hasn't found his place on Summoner's Rift in recent times.
Yeah, Spain slightly changing their last few picks. That Twitch in there now as their AD carry, so he can snowball incredibly hard. We have seen that many times, and using that spray and pray can decimate teams when he gets off to a good start. But again, he's pretty squishy, pretty hairy possibilities in those early levels, so he's got to be careful in that lane. And I wouldn't be too surprised again if we perhaps see another lane swap out of them against that Kaiten army, because Twitch and Sona would take a lot of punishment there. Cho'Gath is going to be fine in a lane swap, and that may be why the French team picked him, because of how good he is at being in that 2v1 solo situation, because of that passive sustain he gets every time he kills a creep. We'll have to wait and see, as their last pick does lock in as Orianna, so we do have that mid lane matchup once again. We saw it in the very first game of the day between Denmark and Serbia. We didn't quite see what I wanted to out of Serbia's mid laner, in the fact that she didn't bully that Gragas anywhere near as hard as she could have, using Orianna's basic attacks, using that early magic damage proc. But it also depends a lot on the junglers. I mean, maybe he didn't feel safe enough, maybe he didn't feel safe with the enemy jungler. We did see him in lanes a lot, especially defending those 2v1s, but if Orianna was not confident enough in his vision and his map awareness of Lee Sin, that would explain it. So we'll see how Geotech takes his lane.
I'm quite surprised that we haven't seen more of the Orianna Gragas matchup. Really, at the end of this patch at 3.12, which is the patch that we are on, the one before live servers, this match was almost exclusively played in just about every game where all of the assassins were banned, and we are in that situation where Kassadin, Fizz and Zed have been banned, so this is a matchup we've all seen a lot of times in the past few weeks. Cho'Gath, however, I feel is a welcome, potentially re-emergence, although I have my reservations on how Cho'Gath will fit into the current meta.
He did appear a little bit in the middle of Season 3, but it was a very brief time. A couple of LCS players tried to jungle him. It didn't really work out, and he vanished again within about 2 to 3 week period. So it wasn't a particularly long-lived resurgence, but he gave it a go. For that same reason, I don't really see this working out particularly well. I mean, he can hit that unkillable tank moment, but to be honest, we haven't seen any games reach that point in the entire day's worth of matches on stream. So the fact that they're looking for that, it shows a bit of optimism, I think, in the French side. And just looking at that Spanish lineup, that they don't want it to go that long. They are going to be pushing aggressive. They are going to be making these early plays, and they're going to be trying to end the game before 30 minutes.
I was about to say we're into game, but there's a pause. So, we are almost into game here between Spain and France. As we said earlier, it is our last game of the day here for Chaos TV. Apologies on the advertised Austria-Netherlands game. It wasn't quite ready for us. There was going to be another delay between the start of that game, so we thought we would bring you a game rather than no game for a while, because we know that we've had a little bit of a delay with some of the games starting today. So it is France and Spain. That is the two teams we will be featuring for our final game of the day. Sounds like the Spanish players are having a couple of problems with their mouse. We'll hopefully be able to get that fixed fairly soon.
Mouse?
Was it
said
mouse?
micro.
Micro. Probably.
So
microphone. Okay.
Yes.
I read it as mice.
It's been a long day. We got straight out of bed nice and early this morning.
It's not been that long. I should be able to read. My literacy skills shouldn't die that quickly. Oh, great. Now Ruben's bringing it up on screen so that everyone can see. I could have got away with that too if it wasn't for that damn Panky.
Oh, dear. Hopefully they get this sorted out fairly soon. They've been on the same PCs more or less. Someone has been all day, so hopefully it shouldn't be too big of an issue. Especially with the way these gaming brands work. Most of these players have probably got at least one other person there that has the same headset. So I'd imagine it shouldn't be too difficult of a fix, whatever the problem may be. And in fact, knowing a lot of professional league players, chances are they've just got it muted on the inline cable.
That might sound quite bad-mannered, but once you've been to a couple of events, you realise how true that kind of problem can be.
Unfortunately, yes. So, hopefully they'll fix it out soon. I'd like to see some kind of interesting level 1 here from Spain. They've got a very strong team for it. Aatrox knock up Lee Sin, overall damage. Gragas, he could body slam actually for the AoE slow if he likes, but more likely just go for the barrel. And then Twitch is just general Twitch damage. He will, of course, go for that explosive cask. He's got that slow. Oh, explosive, but he will go for that cask. So he'll have that slow. But again, more likely we'll just see them defend their entrances. They'll scout for their opponents. They'll plant some wards in and around, more likely their own their enemy jungle, as well as one in their own jungle, and that'll be the start of this game. Then we'll go back into our lanes and see who switches it up. I still would like to see a top lane Twitch Sona out of the Spanish team going up against that Cho'Gath, but we'll have to watch and see how they shape up and what they scout when they are invading to decide whether they do that or not.
I'm just wondering, if France beats Spain here, and Austria beat the Netherlands, I think we might end up in a... Oh no, we wouldn't. There wouldn't be a tie. Don't worry. I was looking at the brackets, trying to make it make sense in my head.
So your literary skills have gone out the window, and your maths has gone out the window.
Oh, that was never there in the first place. Let's. Don't worry. I know my weaknesses. It's maths isn't a strength, but
I get it. Mine neither.
Well,
so,
it looks like
we get the ready calls coming out.
Has been unpaused. We're into the final game of the day between Spain and France here for the IeSF World Championships. Spain look to solidify their place at second in the group, and of course, if they can manage to pull out a win here, they would indeed hold that spot. And I wasn't wrong. If Austria do win, Spain win, there will be a three-way tie.
No, they will.
So
we'll wait and see if that happens or not first.
Yeah, it is highly dependent on Austria.
We could be sitting here all day discussing maybes. Been there before.
Although I feel like in that circumstance, Spain would go through. We'll figure it out when it comes to it. But this is the price I pay
Cho'Gath
for
dance party. Yes, it is. There you go.
Battlecast Cho'Gath. My second favourite skin for Cho'Gath. I gotta say, it doesn't quite beat Gentleman.
Gentleman is pretty good. And to be honest, I'm a fan of Loch Ness, to be honest. It's a pretty good skin considering how old it is.
True, it is one of the better older skins, but again, Gentleman just has that place in my heart, I think. Spain are grouping up somewhat in this early game, making sure they're all sticking together. Doesn't really give anything away to the French team either, so there's not really any indication of the lane swaps. It looks like, though, from the positioning, that Spain will be heading towards this bottom lane with their duo bot pairing, so it's not the call of the 2v1s that you were maybe hoping for.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see exactly how Sona and Twitch work. I mean, there's a potential of a lot of damage between the two of them there. So if they do play it right, they can force Caitlyn Naomi on the defensive, as we saw from them in the previous time we watched France play. That Corki Sona really bullied them. Sorry, that Corki Syndra really bullied Caitlyn Lane in that situation. So it is very possible that could happen, but it's just risky and hard. So we'll have to watch and pay attention to that lane, see whether they can do it or not.
How is the early game going for this one? I'm very interested to see, especially with Cho'Gath against a champion like Aatrox, who has a similar a similar sustain to him in that lane. Of course, every time both of them are getting, every time Cho'Gath does kill a minion and every time Aatrox gets that third auto attack, they will both sustain up a lot of damage down in that bottom lane from Spain on towards France, and Nami actually goes very low off that expunge damage.
And that's what I was talking about. It is very possible for them to bully that lane out.
Oh, up in the top lane, however, Cho'Gath is taken very low off this. Nice flash forward into Tempest, does pick up that kill. That's first blood in favour of Spain.
And again, more harassment down in the bottom lane. 3-4 free auto attacks coming out for Twitch. And then a quick expunge, nuke Caitlyn down to 200 HP. So they have been able to land a lot of free damage. They have been able to punish this Caitlyn and Nami for not returning their harass, not trading with the trades, and as a result, Twitch and Sona are in a very commanding position.
And one of the things about this dual partnership, of jungle and top here, Aatrox and Lee Sin have a lot of damage. Oh, they're going to catch out Cho'Gath. The bait with the recall animation from Aatrox under the tower. Down in the bottom lane, however, there has been a kill traded as Twitch has fallen after taking out Nami. Medina trying to maybe get away with this. Is actually going to turn and use the Ignite for the kill on herself. And that is a really nice trade there from Sona to make sure they pick one up at the end.
Yeah, they pick up the Nami kill with the Twitch poison. A very, very late kill, but it happened all the same. Long, slow burning poison. Again, I don't really see Orianna bullying this Gragas as much as I'd like it to be. And
not again.
Is about to have a terrible day.
Not again. Oh, the Dark Flight doesn't quite land. They do land the Blades of Torment into the Sonic Wave Resonating Strike. It's going to be another kill. This time, Frederick grabs him a second one. And this isn't strictly to do with the Cho'Gath pick. Doesn't help.
Well, to be honest, it's not the Cho'Gath himself so much as it is the way he plays. Now, he is designed around sitting there for a long time, being an immovable object, and farming up hard. Now, they've got two very strong pre-3 champions, to be completely honest, in Aatrox and Lee Sin. So, in that weak period for Cho'Gath, they are just abusing it. They're killing him over and over again and keeping him in that weak period for as long as possible. So, he's not going to get to that late, slow, tanky, immovable object point.
Oh no,
so,
Dark Flight again.
Oh dear.
That's another kill. This time Elise was around, will put some damage back, but I feel like Spain have picked up too much off this top lane already. She might be caught out as well. Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike, and the Tempest holds her in the lane for a little bit, but maybe they will call the end of this one. Actually, Aatrox is going to go aggressive here. Oh, very, very nice shield. Will keep him alive to drop him into the passive for just a second. Cocoon will land onto Lee Sin, waiting for that Sonic Wave to be available. Nice Venomous Bite will use that gap close, but is it enough to keep Elise alive here? Blaze of Torment, then the Tempest. That's another kill.
Just playing with that top lane. Elise did go very deep trying to get that last passive broken from Aatrox. She did manage to break his passive, but it put her in such a terrible position behind that turret and on such a low HP that death was only in a matter of time.
Oh, again, in the bottom lane, there's a lot of damage coming out from Twitch. Expunge picks up the first kill, and it's only Medina that's taken damage here. Up in the top lane, they picked up another kill onto Cho'Gath, and Twitch is looking for another one for himself on Caitlyn. That poison is going to tick, but it won't be enough to take down Caitlyn.
Gragas wants to kill in the mid lane.
He does indeed. There's so much happening around the map here from Spain. And we've seen some convincing performances today, but I've not seen a top laner be level 2 at 7 minutes into the game yet.
No, this is a first, that's for sure. Gragas has now decided he's at that point. He's ready to start bullying Orianna. He used her ult to push her out from turret. He's now just spamming barrels onto her while she's underneath. She's got a couple of health potions ticking. We should stay alive a little bit longer, but she just has to be very, very careful. Especially with the way we've been seeing Lee Sin play. He could come out of anywhere right now. Under the tier 3 turret, fine, I'll dive.
Oh no, Cho'Gath. That ward might not be enough to save you. Here comes Aatrox. He's level 6. Blades of Torment will land. Ignite is ticking. He might not even need Lee Sin's help. He'll just get into range for the Tempest. And I kind of feel like that one could have been avoided.
I feel so bad for him.
So do I. There's not a lot you can do when that's happening. I mean, maybe if we'd have seen Cho'Gath look to roam around with Elise for a little bit, like get some experience from the jungle creeps, but
by the time he realized that he needed that,
yeah,
it was too late.
That was going to be my... oh, Twitch is going to stealth in towards Caitlyn. Ignite ticking as well. Switches focus onto Nami. Barrier forced out from Caitlyn. Nice Aqua Prison will keep them alive for another second longer, but the poison and the Q... Oh my goodness, another kill.
Cho'Gath hit level 3!
He did also die for it. It's
He did die for it, but he hit level 3.
He's getting halfway to that ultimate where he can finally build some stacks up. We'll use the Dragon Rage to kick on towards Elise, but I was talking to you in the break. I really dislike calling games before they're done. Shockwave is actually going to pick up a kill for Orianna as Frederick now looks to pick up a kill on Elise. I really dislike calling games before they're done, but this time I
well,
really
you don't have to call games
think...
before they're done. This one's done.
Yeah, exactly. This one I don't think applies. Spain are very, very far ahead. Oh, flash forward under the turret will pick up that kill. Anytime an AD carry with very little mana can flash forward into a tier 2 turret at 9 minutes. Whew, that's...
Oh dear. I feel really bad. There's just nothing that the French team can do to come back from this right now, if I'm completely honest. Look, lowest level on the Spanish team is 6. I suppose there's 2 6s on the French side. Elise and Oriana made it. Sona in there. Elise is toying with Twitch, trying to do what damage he can. Twitch is in trouble. He's got Caitlyn coming in, forced to pop his barrier, will try and dive her under turret, cannot pick up the kill. Elise will get the shot down and steals her own blue buff back, but Caitlyn went very low in the process.
Yeah, that's a good shutdown gold, and the story of this game, I think, is once again, sort of the occult has reared its head in today's games. There's actually another small engagement going on as Frederick is trying to use the damage from that sort of the occult to take out Elise here, and Twitch buying Seeker's Arm Guards is not the most common of itemization for a marksman here. Well,
neither is the stinger on Aatrox. I mean, that's got a bit of luck. It's going to go into a Zephyr later on, but still not your traditional first item.
Cask into Body Slam with the barrel. Will pick up that kill, but Fast Dragon, can he get out of this? Flash forward from Elise. Actually takes quite a bit of damage there from that turret. Look to follow up with that Q. Will just get the cooldown. Repels back in towards the minions. The crescendo used to secure that kill on Elise, and Caitlyn now trying to get away as Frederick is looking for the angle on that Sonic Wave. Meanwhile,
Sona,
in the top lane,
power chord out damaging, or Sona even without power chord, just generally out damaging Caitlyn.
In the top lane, Aatrox is about to take an inhibitor tower. Shockwave does get used. Dark Flight wasn't quite enough to get him out, and actually takes a fair amount of damage from that tower. Doesn't quite get it either, so bit of a win there for France, holding that inhibitor tower at 11.5 minutes into the game.
They found him at Golems. He's still standing on a trap. You didn't notice. They pop his passive. Will he die?
It depends. He does use that Dark Fight to get out. Cho'Gath may even pick up a kill. They don't give it to him. They will put that onto Caitlyn, who made sure she didn't die to the Ignite.
Yeah. George has found himself a fish to play with.
Those waters are poisoned, so it looks like we're having a bit of biological warfare down in that bottom lane. Twitch is having a little trouble with Elise, however, who is one of the only members of the French team that's been able to itemize here. Will pick up that kill. That's Twitch being a little over-aggressive, and in the mid lane, another kill for Spain as they now focus their efforts on this mid lane down.
Twitch could have killed Elise there, except after killing Nami, he took 3 more CS, then started to fight Elise.
Ah, okay. Also,
so he took a full round of combo of abilities. Yeah, that too. Yeah, dear. Cho'Gath has himself a Warden's Mail as some form of item. He's heading top, and it's still very smart itemizing, to be honest. Aatrox is building very heavily attack speed, and of course his passive gives him a lot of attack speed too, so slow it down a bit with the Seeker's Arm Guard, why not?
It's okay, he just wants the AP for the expunge damage.
It's definitely what it is.
But Spain now pushing on another turret, and 10,000 gold lead at 13 minutes. They do have to close this game out. That is one thing I will say. If they play around for too long, there's the slight... there is the slightest chance that France could maybe get levels. But Aatrox is pushing in towards his top lane again. Looks like he will be able to take down that inhibitor turret, and that will start to snowball this game. We talked earlier how difficult it is to deal with super minions early in the game. It's even more difficult to deal with super minions when you've only just hit level 6. And that is a dominating Frederick as they pick up a kill onto the support. Now Aatrox and Twitch will go aggressive. Look, there's not even any contention from the French team. They drop 2 very quickly as Cho'Gath is flashing red. Cocoon doesn't quite land. Net will, however, catch on towards Twitch, and now it looks like they want to go aggressive on towards Elise. The lifesteal is enough to keep Aatrox back in this one. Cho'Gath will fall as well. Flash crescendo onto Caitlyn. Blades of Torment plus the Expunge. Is it enough? It will be with that Ignite from Sona. Now they take out this inhibitor.
So I've watched many hours of League, and I've played many hours of League, and after all of that, I'd like to say the Spanish strategy on this game was simply kill everything and then kill it again and then kill it again. It was a deep thought, heartfelt strategy they must have practiced many times. And it's proved to be quite effective.
I think we should get Jet on the phone. I think he could take analysis lessons from that. The best analysis we've ever seen. But 27-7 at 15 minutes, and they're not done. They're low health. They don't have a Baron buff, which is a position that you'd normally see a team like this. Manages to land the Sonic Wave backwards behind him and pick up that kill. This is an extremely comfortable game from Spain against France here, and this will almost undoubtedly secure Spain's spot. Of course, we do have that other game going on between the Netherlands and Austria, but Spain pick up another kill as Frederick goes legendary. Really, there's just no stopping him right now. That's Sword of the Occult. How many stacks has that got? Is it possible to see?
And they are doubling the gold count of France right now.
He has 15 stacks on that Sword of the Occult.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, that's giving him quite a lot of damage. And they will take down another turret, now turning their focus onto the final remaining Nexus turret. I really don't think that Spain will be all that worried about this game. They can put this one in the back of their minds and refocus perhaps on tomorrow. However, Shockwave will land. There's a lot of lifesteal coming back for Aatrox. Does get dropped into the Bloodwell as he did get killed there, but that passive will bring him back. Good games coming out from France. Legendary Frederick, 10-0-7. 16 minutes and 28 seconds is the timer on this game. There's 32 kills to 7. Spain close this one out against France.
There's nothing more to say. Non-stop aggression from Spain. Every fight seemed to result in a kill. And they pushed home their advantage. I said at the start they did not want this game to go on for long. They picked very aggressive, strong